Hey there guys, I hope you're all doing very well. Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be talking about Bugonia. So I've seen some trailers and adverts for this movie, upon its release, and I felt it was a movie that was interesting for me to watch. I mean, I had no idea what this movie was going to be based on, but I could say after watching Bugonia, I could say this movie is pretty good. So while I think Bugonia is a pretty good film, I wouldn't say it's perfect. So Bugonia is a satirical black comedy, and one of the main characters of this movie is a CEO called Michelle Fuller, and she is the CEO of a pharmaceutical company called Oxalift, and she gets kidnapped by two cousins, Teddy and Don. And one of the main characters of the two cousins is Teddy, who is played by Jesse Plemons. And essentially, Teddy has become very paranoid and kind of anxious, really, because he has the conspiratorial belief that a alien species known as the Andromedans are going to come to the Earth. And Teddy kidnaps Michelle from her home and kidnaps her and brings her to his home, where he keeps her hostage, demanding questions from her about whether she's an Andromedan or an alien species. But she convinces Teddy that she isn't, and has the sort of belief that she thinks that he is in an echo chamber, and he always has these conspiracy theories about aliens. But he denies all that and thinks that she's talking nonsense. And it kind of gets into a lot of twists and turns from there. So Teddy would always try and do things like, assessing Michelle's pain threshold by putting her on an electric chair to see what happens. And he will just do a lot of things like that. But there's also parts of the movie where Teddy has a view of Michelle. So Teddy also has flashbacks of his mother, who actually had a coma from a Oxalift drug. And Michelle tried to cover that up and essentially didn't think that the drug really had anything to do with Teddy's mum's coma. But he also wants to demand Michelle a drug or a cure to help Teddy's mother, essentially. So there's also those sort of things that he has a view against Michelle, and it was kind of he plotted this or kidnapped to essentially get what he wants. So that's kind of most of the story that I kind of want to talk about in this video. I'm not going to go into all the details of it or all the scenes from it, because I think it will just spoil the film. But that's kind of the premise of it. And I think it's a good premise. I think it's very interesting. It does kind of develop as the movie goes along. However, I do think it does kind of lack the depth and development it needs from times to time. Probably when it comes to understanding a lot of characters' motivations a little bit and their perspectives, I think they could have done better to kind of give more intrigue with these characters. And I think sometimes the movie, it didn't really do that the best way it can, and kind of some of the dialogue between the characters were very it felt like it was just talking, really, and it wasn't really a lot that really developed from that. It was just just dialogue, and then it just didn't progress with a lot of substance, I guess. And maybe that's just how black comedies have always been written, I think. And I think maybe for some people it may not be for them. But I think they could have definitely done better in terms of actually improving the writing and maybe some of the developing the premise of the film a little bit more. Maybe I should just be more concise and say it was just a little bit slow. I think other things I will compliment this movie, the acting performances were very good, and I think Jesse Plemons and Emma Stone really did stand out in this movie. In my opinion, I don't think this is Emma Stone's best performance. I think certainly when she did Poor Things, I think she stood out more. But I think she does deliver a very good performance in this movie. And I think Jesse Plemons' character as Teddy really does show that he is like a psychopathic conspiracy theorist, and he's like, he gets very withdrawn into this sort of echo chamber about aliens. And along the way with this movie, you do see like a lot of things that do get more revealed. Not really going to talk about it because I don't want to kind of spoil like how the movie develops in that sort of aspect, but there are a lot of twists and turns in this movie, and this movie does have its moments of building like some satire. Being a black comedy, it does get very self-aware with a lot of its scenes, so there are like lots of there are like, you know, gore and bloody scenes that do come across in this movie from time to time, and it certainly does kind of live up to the humor of the consistency of a lot of these black comedies, satirical black comedies I've seen in the past. And that was good to see. And that's pretty much it for my review on Bugonia. I definitely think if you like black comedies, I think this is a movie you will enjoy. I mean, it still maintains a lot of the core substance of a strong black comedy, like self-aware scenes, some dark humor, and it does a good job with that. It's probably not the most perfect of black comedies I've seen, but I think it'll be one that you will enjoy. So yeah. If you haven't already and you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, subscribe, dislike if you want to dislike. Thank you for watching. And yeah, that's about it. See you later.